Hello, we're here at Brand Innovators in Las Vegas ahead of the Super Bowl. My name is Scott Robertson. I'm head of client sales at Ampersand. So Ampersand is basically, we own the connected home. Through our partner owners with Comcast, Cox, and Spectrum, we deliver insights and data to audiences coming off of 65 million households. And that is down to the name and address, getting return path data from those. And through that, we also have 65 million homes of addressable television. I'm here with Patrick Campion. He is the Vice President, Marketing, Planning Insights, and Partnerships at Sleep Number. And Patrick, I'd like to let you introduce yourself more.
Yeah, no, it's great to be with you. Yeah, so I have the pleasure of leading part of the marketing team that does our marketing planning and brand partnerships, which includes our partnership with the NFL, which is why my team are out here in Las Vegas for the Super Bowl, which is always one of the biggest times of the year for us, because it is the biggest cultural moment in North America. And so for our brand to be part of that is a big deal.
Yes. Oh, that's great. So you've got a very impressive title. Could you tell a little bit about what exactly you do?
Yeah, so really I work on the planning, the insights, and then our activation, which includes brand partnerships, to get new customers to our brand. And as well as we have a very loyal customer base that have purchased and repeat purchase, and to engage with them, to keep them engaged, to keep coming back to the brand.
Okay, and you've association with the NFL, which I know you've been doing for 6 years.
Yeah.
Can you tell a little bit how you got into this partnership with the NFL and why the NFL versus NBA, NHL, et cetera?
Yeah, no, we were looking for a great platform in a way. The conversation we're having at the time was, how do we have marketing tactics and consumers that want to pull our information versus us pushing information to them in the traditional tactics. And we knew we could build an authentic story in sleep and performance. And sports is a natural fit for that. And we had a lot of conversation across sport to see who would be the best match for us. And, a lot of potential partners, but with the NFL, there were just several things that kept coming back to that they were the right partner for us. One, it's the biggest scale out there, and there's nothing bigger. Like Nielsen data, 93 of the top 100 broadcasts last year were NFL games. Like that is the attention of where people are, spending their time and energy. So that's a big one. Two, NFL players sleep on their own beds 6 nights a week. What we want to do is create authentic adoption, authentic storyline about sleep performance, and that doesn't come through if that's not a real case for the athlete. If you're traveling over half the time and on your bed, and NFL players are. So it's a huge part of it. And we just knew that we could do that in real ways across our own platforms, but also NFL platforms and partner club platforms, player platforms, to get that information and message out there to a lot of different audiences in unique ways.
Okay. And so with this partnership with the NFL, how many players do you have associated with you?
Yeah, so a big thing that we did in our conversation with the NFL is we knew that we wanted to help out with the health and safety and health and performance of athletes. And then they came to us and said, hey, through that conversation, what if we together worked to get all of our active roster players on a bet? And at first I kind of stuck back because that's a very large number. I mean, NFL rosters are quite big. But once we decided to truly make an impact in this space, we knew we wanted to do that. And so through that program, between all 32 clubs and their performance staffs, so their athletic training staff, their performance staffs on the team, through a partnership with the NFL Players Association, we really created a program. We knew that we wanted to pull the players along and get them excited about what it could do for them versus something that we were just pushing on them. So it was a huge success in those first couple of years to really get that program up and running. And at this point, we have 80% of the NFL players have a Sleep Number smart bed, which is what we say, and it is true, is like it's one of the biggest, most impactful sleep performance programs in all of sport.
Now, do you have I know you have many, but is there a particular, player story that you would like to share as to how it really helped them?
Yeah,
the technology?
I'll give a couple, because really, just like anything else in all of us, people are on different spectrums in terms of what they understand about sleep and how they know it's going to affect them. 82% of people understand that sleep's important. a lot of people don't know what to do about it. And, and when we come across players, I'll use an example of Terrence Newman. He's one of the first year one of the first players we worked with. And Terrence was a 37-year-old cornerback. And there's only one other cornerback who's played that long in their career, and it's because Terrence knew how to take care of himself. He was also a biology major from K-State. So Terrence's knowledge of what he wanted to do and his understanding of biology, why sleep is important, was way over here. But it was great because we could meet him where he was at and take the next level. There's plenty of players that come in that may know it's important but have no education on it, or they haven't heard much other than I should be getting more sleep, and not the motivation.
Or they're young.
Yeah, or the motivation place. And I mean, think about a generation where you're playing video games all night.
Yep.
That's how you're connecting in the community. You have to kind of let them know that, we're not telling you to not do certain things. We're going to tell you why to do this and why it matters. And, you've got plenty of players that you see that click because it's taken them a lot for them to get into this league. It takes a lot to be on that roster. It takes a lot to start. It takes a lot to stay in the league. And that's what motivates them, right? And if you bring sleep into that conversation, all of them understand it. So they may start here and not where Terrence Newman was, but they get there pretty quickly in terms of why it matters to them.
Can you walk me through, whether at a team level or through the NFL, how the partnership then goes to getting down through, as you said, the training staff and all that, to the player to then really say, hey guys, this works and you should do it not in a pushing way, but just walk me through that process.
Yeah, and one reason why we are pretty exclusive in our sports partnerships with the NFL is, like I said, it's the biggest platform. And for us to make an impact, we wanted to go deep, right? And to do that and trying to do other things at once would have diverted us. And we realized early on, having a deep relationship with the Professional Football Athletic Trainer Society, which are the athletic trainers and performance staff at all 32 teams, understanding what would help them in that was a big part of it. So we are one of two brands that can give CE or continuing education credits to athletic trainers because we can teach them about sleep and performance. And so once we understood that they wanted what they needed to educate and motivate players, it's been just an indispensable partnership. And the great thing about that is we are partners across all 32 teams, whether we've got a marketing relationship or not. And those are the people in the training room that are talking directly to the players, right? It's not somebody else from the outside. It's not some league. It's that person that is in the training room with them to say, hey, are you doing this? Or as they get more advanced, Kansas City is a great example. They really have adopted this. Tiffany Morton, who's one of their athletic trainers, she'll talk to the players like, well, what is your sleep IQ score from last night? Which is what the bed tells you and scores you. And so she has a back and forth conversation to understand, oh, it was poor. So what are you doing to get to that point? And just an example of how when you have that relationship in the locker room with the football ops staff, with the players, it's going to be authentic and it's going to be adopted, right? Our biggest fear is you'd have this thing where people wouldn't understand why we're doing it, wouldn't adopt it, the bet ends up in the wrong place, or not with the athlete, where we have not had that issue because we started with those core people within the organization that were really educating the players on performance.
Right. It's an authentic story, and then it's a story really about performance. It's about sleep, but it's really about the performance coming, with these high-level world-class athletes.
Yeah, no, and the good thing is it's the average consumer, you don't need to translate for them, right? They don't, they aren't saying, oh, I'm going to do this so I can play on Sundays.
Yeah.
But they understand that if this player is doing it to get to this level, and oh, by the way, they get run over by a truck every Sunday, and they've got to recover for that to be ready for the next week, this is going to help them in their lives. No matter what they are, if they've got a sleep issue or don't have a sleep issue, they quickly understand that this can help them because that commonality is the player has to sleep, needs to get quality sleep, be recovered so they can be their best. That's 100% translatable to me, no matter who you are.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I don't know the stat, but it's people over 40, I don't know, half of them have, back issues. And the beds can really help with that. And again, there's a translations to they're getting hit by a Mack truck every weekend as a running back goes through the line. His back's got to hurt. My back hurts. Then you can piece the two together.
Well, it's important for us because every brand in our space is going to claim, yeah, we give better sleep. Like, right, that's the beginning of selling beds and mattresses. That was the thing. Hey, it's better sleep, better day. But we can tell you why our product is very different than everybody else, why it matters, and then prove it out through this huge platform of it does matter, right?
Right.
And like, you know, we've got players here in Las Vegas doing media tours and telling their story. And the great thing I love about it is, like, when we meet them or talk to them, you know, when they're here before they start doing them, it's not like, here are your 3 bullet points, go memorize them. Right. Every one of them, like, loves their bed, and sometimes it's for a different reason, but they love their bed, and that's great. So when they get on there, there's literally authentically talking about, hey, I love my bed because I love foot warming because it helps me go to sleep faster. Right. Or I had an ankle injury, I could articulate the bottom of the bed and the base to elevate it so it could heal faster. And there are a lot, or, you know, Dak Prescott, you know, I sleep hot, I want a bed that's going to cool me. So it's always a different reason, or, you know, a reason, but it's authentic to them, and you can tell that that's what they've experienced. And that really translates well for the general consumer.
Right. So tell me a little bit about how you measure the success of the program. Again, it's been 6 years. It's going great, but how do you actually measure it?
Yeah. So we are a vertically integrated company, so we do own the visibility of that full customer journey. So we have several different points along the line we have measured from, you know, up on the top end of the funnel. We look at brand health and brand awareness. Custom survey 3 times a year to a broad general population, a mattress and tender population, an NFL population, to understand, you know, those highest levels of brand awareness, consideration, brand trust, brand value. We get a read there. We also look at Google search by category and by brands. So we get a good feel for, hey, is the general category being searched, meaning best mattress? Is our brand specifically being searched? And on this, because it is some of our highest profile placements, and it for linear TV, online streaming, is the NFL. Those things have a direct effect on those. I can tell you in season versus out of season, NFL fan versus Gen Pop, and we can see how our partnership with the NFL affects that. And you keep flowing down the funnel to the individual creative, we can view, like, how is it performing when we put America's Game of the Week, our ad, in that, and what happens 10 minutes around that in terms of search and site traffic. And we really do follow that all the way down to purchase, and we have different metrics to look at. Hey, what was the influence of the NFL partnership on purchase? Okay.
And if you take a look at your partnership, you know, 1 year, 2 year, 3 years from now, I mean, you're still together, but you know, how are you looking to evolve it with the NFL?
Yeah, the great thing is a lot of what they're doing is where we're going as well. Like, you know, their international push is great because NFL teams need to win those games, like, right? And, you know, they're not going to Toronto. You're going to London, you're going to Frankfurt, you're going to potentially Madrid, other places, South America, Africa, you know, a variety of places. And it isn't built in that you're going to have a week off before or after that. So if you're moving 7 time zones to play a game on Sunday and need to come back by the next Sunday and win that game, the sleep cycle and your schedule is a huge part of that. And again, that's just another authentic story of where the teams lead on this, us to be that resource. And, oh, by the way, the player on that bet can then say, actually, you know, the disruption of my sleep was these 3 days only. By Wednesday, I was back to my normal sleep cycle, because they actually have the data to look at.
Yeah.
So that international travel piece, as the league goes there, is still just a great place for us to further tell our story about how we can help with the quality of sleep leading to better performance, right?
So let me ask you, amazing data, training, you know, sort of endorsement. So how are you, and again, not actively, you know, do it, but how are you looking at the other 20% of the players who are currently not?
Yeah, no, we continue to educate to why that matters, right? And what they should be doing in their careers to advance it, and get across to them that sleep is as important as diet and exercise to their performance. And that's, again, true for them. It's true for the general consumer, because that sleep is a foundation. Like, you know, like, if you don't get great sleep, you're going to make worse food decisions.
Right.
You're not going to have the energy to work out. So it is really just connecting with them for them to understand.
Okay. Two more questions. So just sort of switching over to more from a general sort of television way. How do you measure success of your network TV and network cable partnerships?
Yeah. So we have a marketing mix model that looks at our different media mix to understand where we're seeing success on those placements, right, or that mix of it. We also do look at the individual airings and understanding what traffic it does drive to the website during that time. We actually have a new tool that actually measures web search as well. So when that spot plays, what type of web search are we seeing? So we have a couple different measures in that space to look at. Hey, these are big investments. So are they paying off, or are they driving people? Because we're not a impulse purchase.
Right.
You're not going to see a TV spot and then go buy or bet. You're going to go research it. So we have to understand how that high funnel activity drives to a digital engagement and then drives you further down funnel.
Right. And Ampersand's data can help with that. So last question. Well, two questions. One, what is your prediction for the Super Bowl?
Couple of things. We are a Kansas City Chiefs partner, and we believe we've done a lot to help them on the performance side, so we're there. I also really believe in two things. Patrick Mahomes, the quarterback, and Brett Veach as a general manager is equally impressive in terms of they have so much of their salary tied up in a couple high-profile players or three high-profile players, and he does a great job of finding those players that can fit into that work in that system that Andy Reid's built. So I can never go against the Kansas City Chiefs for both reasons.
Yes, he's proven it a couple times before. Last one is I went in, I got a fitting, so I found out my sleep number is a 40. Actually a little softer than I thought it would be. I thought it would be up there in the 80s. What is your sleep number?
So I like to say mine is a 45, but I should also tell you that we all change over time. So I actively adjust my sleep number setting.
Okay.
So whether I coach a mountain biking team, and through that I've broken 2 ribs in 5 years. So my body changed during those time periods and I adjusted it. But even over time, I'll go slightly, from a 40 to a 50, slightly softer or slightly firmer. And I'm a great example because my wife likes a really firm bed and she is an 80. And, for us to have the ability to get that individualized comfort on each side for us is the perfect solution.
Yeah, that's a compelling feature.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much for your time, Patrick.
I appreciate
it was great to meet
the conversation. Thanks a lot.